Police humiliated a black school driver before school children. What happened next will shock you. Watch until the end to see what happens. You won't believe the outcome. Have you ever witnessed a moment that changed everything? A scene so charged with tension that every second feels like a countdown to something unimaginable? What would you do if the trust you had in authority figures shattered right before your eyes? The story opens on a typical morning, with school buses idling outside a modest neighborhood school. For many children, this bus ride is the highlight of their day. But for Sam Harris, a black school bus driver with a warm smile and a knack for making every student feel seen and respected, today is about to take an unimaginable turn. What would you do if a routine traffic stop escalated before you could even blink? If a life turned upside down in seconds, right before children's eyes? Could anyone have foreseen what would unfold next? Sam is on his way back from dropping off the morning round of students when he notices flashing lights in his rearview mirror. A police cruiser trails him, urging him to pull over. He feels a pang of anxiety. After all, he's just a bus driver going about his day. Why would they stop him? Could there have been some misunderstanding? The officer approaches his window, hand resting on his holster, eyes cold. Sam rolls down his window slowly, hands clearly visible. Is this just routine, or is there something more? What has he done to merit such intensity from the officer? What's the problem, officer? Sam's voice is steady, but there's an undercurrent of unease. Could a simple question hold the power to escalate this situation? How could Sam know that asking for clarity would only fuel the tension? Without warning, the officer's tone sharpens. He accuses Sam of erratic driving and demands he step out of the vehicle. Sam is confused. His record is spotless. Why would the officer suspect him of something he hasn't done? Is there something else at play? As Sam steps out of the bus, he realizes that children are still nearby, some of them gawking from classroom windows, while a few linger by the playground. What do these young students see? Their beloved bus driver being treated as a criminal. What seeds does this plant in their minds about trust, authority, and respect? Before Sam can speak, the officer demands that he place his hands behind his head. He complies, though his heart races with humiliation and fear. The officer's partner has arrived, and now they surround him, speaking in terse, low voices. How would it feel to be cornered, exposed, and treated as a threat in a place meant for children? The whispers among the onlookers grow louder. One child, barely 10 years old, pulls out her phone and starts recording, her eyes wide with fear and confusion. Others watch, horrified and unsure of what's happening to the kind man who greets them every morning with a wave and a smile. What do the children see in Sam's face? A man they thought was invincible, now reduced to fear and submission? The officer announces loudly, as if performing for an invisible audience, that Sam is being detained on suspicion of a stolen vehicle. Sam is stunned, his mouth dry, his heart pounding. "This is my bus," he insists, his voice cracking. "I've driven it every day for the last 5 years." Why isn't his word enough? In a world that should value truth and evidence, why is he guilty until proven innocent? The officer doesn't even flinch, dismissing Sam's protest as if he's heard it all before. Sam can see the looks on the children's faces, confusion and disbelief. How many of them understand what's happening? How many of them feel that aching pang of betrayal as they watch their driver, a man who's practically family, being led away in handcuffs? Sam feels the weight of 1,000 judgments, not just from the police, but from every young face pressed against the glass, every voice recording on a phone, every whisper spreading like wildfire. How did he go from a friendly neighborhood driver to a suspect? Is there a way back from this nightmare? Word travels fast in a small town. Within hours, parents, teachers, and community members gather at the school demanding answers. How can a man who's been a fixture in their children's lives, a person of integrity and warmth, be treated this way? Where do they draw the line between respect for authority and the need to protect their own? Questions fly, emotions run high, and the principal finds herself caught between maintaining order and standing up for someone she's come to know and trust. How does a community navigate such a fracture? When does silence become complicity? One parent, a mother with a son who idolizes Sam, steps forward, calling out the officers involved. "We've known Sam for years," she says, her voice trembling with anger. "How can we trust our children to a system that can treat a good man like this? Would you have the courage to speak up? What happens when silence isn't an option anymore?" As the footage of Sam's arrest circulates, it catches fire online. People from all over the country watch, horrified, as they see him being humiliated, cornered, and demeaned in front of children. Hashtags spring up, calls for justice swell, and people demand accountability. What is the power of a single story to spark a movement? Can a moment of injustice caught on tape become the catalyst for something larger? News outlets pick up the footage, broadcasting Sam's story nationwide. Families around the country see a bit of their own pain, their own fears in his eyes. Could this outpouring of support turn the tide in his favor, or is the damage already done? The school issues a statement, though it's carefully worded, urging understanding and patience as facts unfold. But the community feels let down. Who will fight for Sam if his own employers choose the path of silence? With the backing of his community and newfound legal support from a local attorney moved by the footage, Sam files a formal complaint against the officers involved. Protests rise, peaceful but firm, demanding accountability. Can a community united make a difference? What happens when people who've known each other their whole lives realize they must now stand for something larger than themselves? The police department, under mounting pressure, issues a statement, though it stops short of an apology. An internal investigation is promised, but many worry that this will just be another case swept under the rug. Will the system truly investigate itself? Or is Sam's case destined to be another statistic in the long history of injustice? Finally, after weeks of public outcry, Sam's case reaches the courts. Community members show up in solidarity, filling every seat. As he takes the stand, Sam recounts the humiliation, the fear, the helplessness. And yet he doesn't speak with anger. Instead, he speaks with a resolve that stuns the room into silence. What does it take to turn pain into purpose? How do you stand tall after being brought so low? The judge listens intently, aware of the charged atmosphere surrounding the case. The testimonies from parents and children paint a vivid picture of the respect Sam earned over the years and the cruelty of what he endured. Finally, the judge delivers a verdict in Sam's favor, ordering the police department to issue a public apology and compensate him for the distress caused. In the days following the verdict, Sam returns to his bus route. The children greet him with cheers, and parents thank him for his resilience. The community is changed, and Sam is a symbol of that change. How does one moment transform a life, a community, and perhaps even a country? What will each person who witnessed this event carry forward in their own lives? Sam smiles as he drives away, the road stretching out before him. For the first time in weeks, he feels hope, not just for himself, but for every child who watched and learned from his struggle. Could this painful journey be the beginning of something larger? A call for empathy, justice, and true change? Would this outcome have been possible without a community willing to stand up? What if the children hadn't recorded? What if people had remained silent? As Sam's bus rounds the corner, his story continues, now etched in the minds of everyone who bore witness. It's no longer just his story. It belongs to a community, a movement, a future filled with the potential for justice. And the final question hangs in the air. How will you respond when the call to stand for someone else's dignity comes to your door?
If you've watched this far, comment which country you're watching from and leave a 100 in the comment section because you are type of person that likes to finish what they started. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to get notified whenever we drop new videos.